Hey guys, welcome back to Restoration Rescue. Thanks for joining us as these acorns drop out of the sky and we drop in some new lines. All right guys, so what we did last week is we came up here, we did some spot welds up here to get this thing in. We haven't gotten around to finishing yet, but we will get that done before next week's video. So we're gonna come back in there, spot weld it in, get that one all nice and set. But what we're gonna be talking about and doing today deals with our gas tank. So let's walk over here and check out our gas tank. We're gonna be dropping in some of this nice new aluminum line, and we're gonna be thinking about where we're gonna run our filler tube. So we have a couple things that we wanna think about when we do this. Obviously we have it kind of mocked up where it's gonna go. It's really low right now because obviously it'll be a lot higher once we actually are on the real rims, and it's up against where it's supposed to be. But pretty much from here out is where it's gonna sit outside of the cap of the rear end. So when we pull it out, we have two options, at least we're thinking. Maybe you guys have some better options for us, and if you do, drop it in the comments below. Maybe a good, maybe walkthrough or something you guys know of where to put it and how to put it. But what we're gonna do is run it up here, and we may put it here. There's an option of putting it over here on this side, or one of the options that I think we're leaning most to is right here. We're gonna try and use this fender, but we're gonna show you something funny about this one. It is rotted out a little bit, but it's got some good metal. We're gonna try and save it. You can hear this. And then we're gonna come over here where it's nothing but Bondo. And you can just hear it. So once we get this line run in, we're gonna come up here. We're gonna finally try and put on our spark plug wires that are gonna be run. And the reason we're gonna be doing that is we're gonna come up here to the engine real quick. We can see here that we have a lot of these wires that run right across this manifold. And of course, when the engine's running and it's going on and you're driving down the road, these are gonna burn away. So instead of like putting something around them to protect them, they come out with these, which are gonna run under here, so you never have to worry about that, and it's not gonna burn anything. It's gonna be staying out of the way and clean up some of this mess that's on top of this engine and make this engine look a lot more pretty. So we have our brake lines in, but we wanted to come back before we start going up the truck and showing you what we did. about a little bit about this Boyd's gas tank to show you what we have to do to get this thing ready to run, and so that we can run off this and rather than just a can of gas. So you come here, this is for a EFI fuel pump. We're not running EFI, that's if we ever wanted to go change. It's not that hard to change out. We pull it out, put in a new, like we just put a wire here and we're pretty much good to go. So this is our line that we're gonna have to put this line in. We're gonna cut it. We're gonna bring it up probably right through the front, right here, and there's a fitting, and we're gonna have to do it just like we did the brake lines with flaring the line, and we put that, put it in, and that's gonna run it up to the front of the truck and run our engine. This would be for a return line, which these trucks don't have. In the older engines, they really didn't have a return for the fuel line. So this is just gonna get plugged up. There has to be a plug here. And this is just a valve or an exhaust valve or whatnot so that it doesn't, you know, spray off gas. This right here is gonna be your fuel. These two are for fuel. This one is your main one, and this is just like an air vent so you don't blow up. But what we did is when we came up the line, we used our brake kit brackets, which we have one right here, which we put in, bolted in, and we tied it up with our brake line up here in the front, here and up here. And then we came up, we started working with our spark plug wires. We did them one by one because we really didn't want to get confused. We also numbered them for the next guy, not really for us because we know 1, 3, 5, and 7 are the driver, and the even numbers are on the passenger side. But one problem that we did come into, and we'll show it to you, we have two different wires here. We have the 8.5 power wire and we have the 8.0 power wire. Literally, this is the same exact thing. There's really no difference. The only difference really that there is that the 8.5, the insulation that goes around your little wire that's inside is just a little bit thicker to prevent from the spark jumping. But the 8s have no problem with that. But if we had done the 8.5 the whole way around, we wouldn't have been able to have all of them because the kit had a bunch of really short wires. And even like you could see, this is number 7. 7 goes right up to the here on the top, which is really close. And it just didn't even come close to reaching. But what this did accomplish by changing out these wires is we got rid of all the mess. A lot of the mess that runs atop this engine with all the wires, and it got all of our spark plugs off of the manifold. So we won't have to just wrap them all up together. We'll come up here and show you the rest of the brake line right here at the front. You can see that it's run here. So what's gonna happen is so that we can get away from using the gas can, this is gonna turn and come in and plug right in here, shoot on back to the back so it goes right to our brand new fuel tank. So what we're gonna do now is since we haven't, mess around with our spark plugs, we wanna make sure this thing runs right and that we didn't screw anything up. So we have this thing jerry rigged up, ready to go. So we're gonna get this thing nice and started for you guys and let you hear it rip again. I know you guys heard it a couple weeks ago, but we just love hearing it run. So here we go. Every time it just sounds better and better every time we hear it. I just can't wait to have this thing running down the road and hearing it yell and scream when we finally get this beautiful exhaust on. I know you guys see that it's kind of like jerry rigged up there with the wiring. So we're gonna come over here real quick and talk about what's coming to us in the future. We have our nice new American Auto Wire wiring system, which is really amazing. Bunch of people I know have used this kits on C10s that they've built, and the really cool thing about this, we're gonna open it up and show it to you real quick. It literally comes with directions for everything you need to know and know how to do it. So people like us who really don't know what we're doing all together can wire it. And the cool thing also about this is on the wires, like this white wire is a ground wire. I don't know if you guys could see in the bag that it literally says ground on it. So like for the other ones, we have all our fuse packs. We have a new headlight switch, or the dimmer switch for our high beams. Everything here, our big fuse box with our whole bunch of wires, and every single one comes with its own instructions so that you know what you're doing. So you can wire anything with this kit. But that is gonna be a wrap for today's video. We look forward to seeing you guys next Saturday when we go back on the cab and start working some more on welding.